Okay, hi guys, my name is Yusuf and I'm founder and CEO of a company called bringme.com. Starting my own company was in my mind from day one. But again, as I said, this requires tons of careful planning, right? You can't just come out of something and start your company. Or do not think of starting a new venture unless you have a passion for it, you have some kid after it, right? Unless you have that in something, I wanted to get it done, something you can't do anything, right? If you can't come out of your comfort zone, nothing is achieved. To achieve something, you have to come out of your comfort zone. You have to have that passion that I wanted to. This is what, in fact, the dream is being driven by this passion. The key point when you start a company or you are working on something is you should not have any distraction. Once you have a distraction, you can't give your 100% what you are doing. So when compared to 1997, when I was planning to do my company for the first time, 2007 was a different story. Everything was in place. I had enough experience with me. I had enough financial stability to sustain myself if anything goes wrong. It is not necessary for you to have all the qualities like marketing or finance, accounting. Those things can be, but whatever the qualities you do not have, you can get from outside. You can get your co-founder, you can hire people, but the basic quality you must have is a patience and how to drive this whole things. Unless you believe in your product, nobody else is going to believe. See, this things looks very bookish, but this very practical things. Unless you have a financial stability, unless you have distraction, it's very difficult to focus on a company. Unless you are focused, it's very difficult to get a success out of anything. Nothing guarantees you success, but the ratio of your success will be much higher if you plan it out. If you have no distraction, you have no baggages, and you have a full focus on what you are doing. The one good thing we did about training was to get the idea validation done. And once I was very convinced that most of the people I met were very excited about this idea, we really went into the business model. Again, business model as I see is just to have a initial business model. The whole purpose of doing a business model was the further validation of our idea, nothing else.
Prototype.
Right. So what we wanted to do was, let's do a business modeling of this thing and see like how the revenues will come, where the customer is going to become, how we are going to grow, and that we very well knew that this business model is not going to remain same. As I said, initially we planned for enterprise and then we moved to consumer. But by doing a business model, we are able to further validate our ideas. So it is also important for any entrepreneurs to stay connected with all such communities like Barking, Startup Saturdays, Kickstart, OCC, and ensure that you cannot run a company in isolation.
Right.
You have to be connected, well connected, and then you never know what kind of help you get there. I met many people who again given me feedback. There are many people who helped us in achieving. So for example, Ashish is going to help us with our web development. Things are not as rosy as you think. Your idea may not work as expected. You may not get funding. Your funding may get delayed. Your idea may not be well accepted. Your customer may not accept it. Delays from the customer. Customer decision takes time. Right.
Don't jump into it unless you are absolutely certain about it, because as others say, there are going to be ups and downs. There are going to be days when you're going to rip your hair out and say, why the hell am I in it? There are days you're going to wake up in the morning and say, this is the best thing I could do. So really spend some time thinking why you want to do it, not just because everyone else is doing, I also want to do it.
you're thinking I'll become a millionaire, I wanted to be a millionaire.
That's a byproduct. Yeah.
That's a byproduct. Yeah, you have to aim for it.
Yeah.
But that's not. Money is a
sight
secondary thing.
Don't lose sight of it, but that is not your primary concern.
Absolutely. And if you have that in mind, don't.
Yeah.
Right? Then you are doing it for something else. You're doing it for money, not your passion.
Then you should join a startup which has successfully launched itself and can
Yeah,
give you good IPO, good options to
Yeah,
pick.
then better go
Join a
go
startup.
and job, and hey, jobs are paying much more than 4 lakhs, 5 lakhs. Easy.
I'm funny. We started Redbus about 2 years back. Before that, I was a senior design engineer at Texas Instruments in Bangalore. I was designing microchips there. And the other two co-founders are my classmates at Pilani. We studied electronics together at Pilani. One is Sudhakar, who is working at IBM before starting Redbus. The other one is Charan, who's working at Honeywell before starting this thing. Actually, the way it happened was, there's a small story of why it happened. Why Redbus, why these three different engineers got into bus ticketing. We are today travel agents. But it took a lot of time for us to digest that. Okay, we are becoming travel agents. All these, when we started Redbus, we thought we're creating software for something, and we'll be some software company doing something for bus operators. So actually what happened was during 2005 Diwali, all of my friends went home for Diwali, all of my colleagues at TI went for Diwali, and due to some project I was not sure if I could go to home for Diwali. So I kept postponing my travel, and there I think 3 days before Diwali or 4 days before Diwali I realized that I could go for Diwali. Then I started hunting for bus tickets, and rail was no way, air was no way, only other thing was bus. So I started hunting. I called up my usual travel agent. I said I want a ticket. He said no, Diwali there are no tickets. You're calling me 3 days before the day of journey. Then that's the first time I realized that I need to go to another travel agent, because all these days I didn't know that there were like 40 buses will go to Hyderabad every day. That was a huge number. I've traveled by only 4 of them. All these days, about 2 years working in Bangalore, I traveled by only 4. Then that gave insights into how big the industry is and what's happening in this complex industry. So unfortunately in our case, customer doesn't walk into ours. For us to make a call to the bus operator every time there is a customer inquiry. Customer just comes onto the site. So we went to the bus operator, said we have to put some inventory there for customer to be served then and there itself. So you have to give us some inventory which we'll block on your bus, which I'll put it on my site and start selling. So that took a lot of selling. Bus operators cannot just block inventory until the last minute to somebody who is experimenting, right? Because it is business for him. That took a lot of convincing. We went, we said, give us one chance and please help us out, we'll do something, we'll sell your tickets and all. So then the 2 bus operators agreed. They said, okay, we'll give you a chance.